The spread of the COVID-19 pandemic has a tremendous economic impact on the world. The outbreak in Malaysia has now entered its second wave with fears that a third wave may follow, but Malaysia still working to avoid it no matter what happens. As a result, the government implemented the movement control order across the country. The goal of this step is to prevent more people from becoming sick and to allow the government to speed up its efforts to combat this disease. The government has introduced the Prihatin Society Economic Stimulus Package, or Prihatin, as an addition to the economic stimulus package released on February 27, 2020 to reduce the impact of COVID-19 and the MCO. The 250 billion ringgit package is expected to relieve society and the business community of their burdens.
Next, we go to the implementation. Prime Minister Yang Berbahagia Tan Sri Datuk Haji Muhyiddin bin Haji Muhammad Yassin introduced the Prihatin Economic Stimulus Package (ESP) on March 27, 2020. Prihatin package will give immediate assistance to anyone who are impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic, especially those who are most exposed. Among the target group for this initiative are B40 group, who are married and single, M40 group with family and single, local workers in various fields, and micro traders in various fields. Next, we go to the initiative. They have three objectives of the stimulus package are as follows: protecting rakyat, followed by supporting business, and finally strengthening the economy. We go to the first objective, which is protecting rakyat. The government has divided this objective into many packages. First is Bantuan Prihatin Nasional BPN. The government would grant a one-time monetary aid, Bantuan Prihatin Nasional BPN, with a RM10 billion budget to lessen their burden. Second, loan repayment is postponed under the Skill Development Fund Corporation. The government previously pledged to provide all creditors 6 months to repay their PTPTN loans. The total RM750 million is invested in this project. Third, scheme for private retirement. The private retirement scheme (PRS) program is a retirement saving alternative. Between April and December 2020, the government would allow pre-retirement withdrawal from PRS account B of up to RM1,500 per member without incurring any tax penalties. My Salam. B40 patients infected with COVID-19 are now eligible for income replacement claims of RM50 per day for a maximum of 14 days under the My Salam hospitalization benefit. Exemption for the PPR, which has now been extended to 6 months at a cost to the government of RM3 million. Discount on the electric bill. The government set aside RM500 million to give a 15% reduction on power bills for the tourist industry, as well as a 2% discount for commercial, industrial, agriculture, and home sector in Peninsular Malaysia. The savings range from 50% to 50% depending on the amount of power used every month. Civil servants and retirees receive assistance. The government would pay a one-time monetary support of RM500 to more than 1.5 million public officials of grade 56 and lower. Incentive for telecommunication service. These include RM600 million in free internet service for all subscribers through the MCO term beginning 1 April 2020. Communications business will also invest an extra M400 million to expand network coverage and capacity, as well as to maintain stable and high-quality telecommunication service. Job retention initiative. The government will implement a wage subsidy program to help firms keep their employees. The government would pay every employee RM600 monthly compensation for 3 months under this initiative. Payment for workers under government contracts during MCO. The government has agreed to pay salaries to service contractors workers despite their absence during the MCO to ensure the welfare of workers involved in contracts such as cleaning and supplying food in school, public higher learning and training institutions, and other government agencies, including statutory bodies. Food security. The government would set aside RM1 billion for the food security fund in this respect. Aside from that, the government would continue to provide farmers and fishermen with other forms of aid. Lastly, cash assistance for e-hailing drivers. The MCO implementation has an impact on full-time e-hailing drivers' daily earnings. The government would offer 120,000 e-hailing drivers with a one-off monetary support of RM500, with a total allocation of RM60 million.
Second objective, supporting business. The second objective is to assist business, particularly SME, by providing and improving finance to support their cash flow through a variety of methods. The government break it into 4 parts, which is the first part is Small and Medium Enterprise Development Fund. The government and Bank Negara Malaysia (BNM) will contribute an extra RM4.5 billion to help SME, particularly micro entrepreneur, with the cash flow of the business. The government is always worried about the business owner who are experiencing cash flow problem. Financial social program. A social finance scheme will be implemented in partnership with the Islamic financial institution, the State Islamic Regional Council and key implementing partner to aid B40 enterprise and job loss. Using zakat money, social donation will be channeled into startup capital for micro entrepreneur, which will be matched with microfinancing at reasonable rate. Entrepreneurs that meet the criteria will get training in entrepreneurship and financial management, as well as assistance in growing their enterprise. The last part of the second objective, which is Corporate Guarantee Facility Scheme. The current crisis has an impact on the corporate sector as well. As a result, the government allows banking institutions effort to restructure corporate sector repayment in line with their financial performance. The facility is aimed toward viable firms in all sectors who are struggling as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic.
The third objective is strengthening the economy. The government had ascertained the fiscal and debt situation's long-term viability. The Prihatin package demonstrates the government care for the society welfare and well-being. To that purpose, the government would offer an RM25 billion direct fiscal infusion to help the society and enterprises. The plans and initiatives to be executed are based on the domestic financial market's present fiscal capacity and liquidity. In addition, the government will maintain a fiscal current account surplus and will not borrow to fund operational expenses. Next, the government also put concentration on domestic investing with a budget of RM2 billion. The government has identified a number of small projects including improving roads, upgrading dilapidated schools in Sabah and Sarawak, cleaning houses of worship and police stations, and upgrading tourism facilities, all of which will benefit contractors in the D1 to D4 class. One of the challenges that government had faced in implementing this package is it is considered unfair by foreigners because the Prihatin stimulus package does not include any support for foreign workers. The Prihatin stimulus package does not provide any support to foreign workers, whether documented or undocumented, although there is a 25% discount on the foreign worker fee for all businesses whose permit expired between April 1 and December 2020, except for the housemaids. The next challenge is increase in the state budget. As we all know, the COVID-19 pandemic has infected in our country unexpectedly. So, when the pandemic happened, the government had to use more state budget that was not in the plan in order to help the people and the country. The problem is that with the MCO and stay-at-home orders, the stimulus measures cannot sustain economic activity if operations cannot be resumed. According to the government, the economy lost 2.4 billion ringgit per day and 35 billion ringgit per month during MCO.
The solution that the government can do to solve the challenge is the government should provide aid package to foreign workers. In curbing the COVID-19 pandemic, the government has implemented a movement control order (MCO) that affects everyone, including foreigners who live in our country. Therefore, the government should help everyone that affected by MCO. So, the government must also provide aid to foreigners. This is because the foreign has also given a lot of their service in the country. Besides that, the government bring them in to fill vacancy in this sector that require physical energy such as manufacturing, plantation, agriculture, mining and construction. Besides that, this foreign worker actually made a huge contribution to our country and help in development. Sector filled by them will help ongoing project or tasks be completed quickly. It is because this sector are filled with sufficient worker. Foreign workers are diligent and work hard in doing their job to get daily or monthly salary from their employer. Hence, national development will also be achieved even if the local worker refuse to work in. Therefore, during MCO, they cannot go out to work and depend on daily wage, so that it is difficult for them to get food because they run out of saving. So the government need to give aid to them for reduce their burden. Secondly, the solution that the government can do is the government propose prosperous tax in the budget for 2022 to be generated as national income. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the government has made effort in helping those affected, including spending a high budget in helping them. The 2022 budget introduced by the government will continue to support the country's recovery through an expanding fiscal policy based on priorities to recover the country from the long-term effect of the COVID-19 pandemic on the public health system and economic structure. Therefore, the government need to add other revenue to cover expenditure in the 2032 budget. Although no major new tax were introduced, the tax proposal were included in the 2032 budget, such as prosperity tax rate for certain super profit generate taxable income in excess of RM 100 million will be taxed at 33%, while a tax rate of 24% apply for taxable income up to 100 million. The government estimate to rise at RM 3 billion through the implementation of the prosperous tax announced in the 2032 budget.
First, the advantages of this package is it can influence Malaysia politics. This program also aids the government in dealing with the COVID-19 outbreak. As a result, we're coming back to this package and reminding to you of the goal because it involves the entire government. We know there was political tension in Malaysia before the COVID-19 pandemic because Pakatan Harapan had won the general election. The society had chosen their preferred parties and representatives in order to create something new. But due to several lies and instances of corruption, the society had lost faith in current administration and wishes that an election be held sooner to install a new government. Following that, the country was shocked by establishment of the Perikatan Nasional. As a result, Malaysia government was changed not through election, but through the collection of vote, with Perikatan Nasional receiving the most vote and Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin being chosen as Prime Minister. As a result, the Prihatin Rakyat Economic Stimulus Package is the new government's first major action in the country. The reason why this stimulus package can benefit the new government is the public is very supportive and pleased with the government's action, and the public faith in the new government has grown. It is critical for the government to obtain public trust because without it, the government will be unable to implement new policies or activities flawlessly. Next, the second advantage of this package is on the social part. We know that the purpose of this government stimulus package is to protect the people while simultaneously supporting the business. We can conclude from those goals that they can have a 100% societal impact. The Malaysian society does not have enough revenue to maintain their everyday life and meet their basic needs. However, this package has aided the society in this regard. For example, the government provide the bantuan Prihatin rakyat to the B40 people who rely solely on their earnings to cover their daily expenses. And with that package, the community can meet their needs while also ensuring their well-being. Furthermore, the government stimulus package includes assistance to vulnerable people through non-governmental organizations (NGOs) with a total investment of 25 million ringgit. With the NGO, the government can be confident that assistance would be given efficiently and without corruption. Furthermore, the government stimulus package can promote societal relationships since NGO volunteers of all the races serve to meet the needs of the people. Lastly, the advantage of this package is on Malaysia economic sector. We know that the government is working hard to ensure that the economic sector in Malaysia is adequately handled in the face of the COVID-19 pandemic. Because of the difficulty in obtaining more imported goods, we can expect society to prefer local goods in their daily life. As a result, the stimulus package has the potential to benefit Malaysia economy. The society will spend and use the money as it has for local products that will help the Malaysian economy produce more to meet the requirement of the people. Furthermore, the production sector benefits from this stimulus package because society can buy their product at any time and the producer will have no competition, especially from import goods, allowing the manufacturer to make a higher profit on the sale. Aside from that, the government stimulus package includes expanded infrastructure projects, which will raise Malaysia's technical level and will help become a developed country. This package can also ensure the society makes the best use of public service as possible, as the stimulus package has given the country the opportunity to improve. Having the finest economic level, particularly in Malaysia, can raise national income per capita as well as the country's GDP, allowing the government to provide more support to enhance the economy.
In conclusion, the Prihatin Rakyat Economic Stimulus Package is the largest economic stimulus package ever presented in the history of the country. The government's Prihatin package is a timely action to mitigate the financial impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. It has gotten positive feedback from the people because it immediately affects the majority of the Malaysians and SMEs. The government will ensure that no group will be left out, especially B40 and M40, from receiving the benefits of the package. Thank you for watching.